Okay. Let me see something. All right. So something is going on. So everybody who was waiting on me to stream this, something going on with Twitch and Xbox and all of that. They won't let me stream it. So it is what it is. But let's get back to this. And you listen, Caitlin, let me tell y'all what happened. All right, because I know y'all think I'm just about to jump off and be negative right now. Let me tell you exactly what happened. Let me tell you what's wrong with the Indiana Fever. All right. Let's just look at, okay, here. All right, great. So they won't force me to look at anything. All right. So let me break this down for you guys. The Indiana Fever, they don't have anyone on their roster who is an ISO player except Kelsey Mitchell, like a true ISO player. So when defenses are playing real sticky, they don't have anyone who can get them out of sticky situations with ISO ability. That's the problem, except for Kelsey Mitchell. She's the only one who has that type of ability to get herself and her team out of sticky, dicey situations. No one else has that, okay? Like I said before, Caitlin Clark is better at going in reverse than she is going forward towards the rim. Now, she's improved some this year going at the rim, but if I had to give it a letter grade, I would just give it like a C minus. Like, and I'm being generous if I'm being honest with you. Aaliyah Boston, the only thing she can do is try to bully her way to the basket. She can't ISO you. Sophie Cunningham has terrible ball handling ability. She can't ISO you. Lexi Hall is a lot better than Sophie, but Lexi is very tight. She's rigid. She's stiff. Although she's more creative than Sophie, it's just not good enough. Ty Harris, because of her knee injuries, she's not the same Ty Harris she used to be in Dallas and early in Connecticut and obviously South Carolina. So she's not the same Ty Harris anymore. And then Monique Billings, she's not an ISO big. So there's only so much she can do. Michaela Timpson can't ISO you. There's only so much she can do. And then you go to the bench and then, listen, Maisha Hines-Allen, not an ISO player. Raven Johnson can ISO. She's the probably the second or third best ISO player on the team. But your worry with Raven is efficiency. It's not like Raven can't get to a spot. The problem with Raven is that she's inefficient. That's her problem. And like I said, and then you got Michelle from the Upshot League and the University of Cal and all that. Obviously, she could score with her back to the basket, a slasher, cutter, transition player, but she's not an ISO player, right? And then you have Bree Hall. Bree Hall is a lot better than Sophie, and she's a little bit better than Lexi Hall in terms of ISO ability, but she doesn't have enough of it. And so you're just stuck with one player. Okay, and that's the difference, right? It's levels to this, y'all. So Caitlin is the better facilitator. Caitlin can get more rebounds than Kelsey Mitchell. And Caitlin can shoot them from deep. But Kelsey can do everything else. You understand what I'm saying? And so Caitlin just doesn't have it to where she can get her team out of sticky situations. She's not that type of player, and no one on that roster is except for Kelsey Mitchell. Now, Kelsey Mitchell separated herself from Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston in terms of being the MVP, right? That was clear. Kelsey Mitchell, without Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever would have lost by who knows how long. By who knows how much. They would have lost that game. So Kelsey really proved it, and then the fans were chanting MVP. MVP. That was clear. The MVP tonight. The separator, she put distance between herself and Caitlin. That's not even close, y'all. It's not even close. And then Asia Wilson said, well, wait a second. There's two MVPs on this court right now. And Asia came through in the fourth quarter with like 18, 20 points. Okay. We saw Jackie Young lose her mind And then Asia lost her mind in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Then Chelsea Gray said she was born with a clutch gene like she always is, and just burnt the Indiana Fever 2 times in the last seconds of the fourth quarter, the last second of the fourth quarter, and in the final second of overtime. And Chelsea Gray is like, who's the real point guard, right? You got one chick named Sophie plagiarizing, saying she's the point guard, like she's pointing at people. Caitlin Clark fans are pissed and jealous that Chelsea Gray is called the point guard. And then they say, no, Caitlin is the point guard. But Caitlin came up short when it mattered the most. Okay, she had a ton of turnovers. She peed on herself at the free throw line. And she just got exposed. So if you look at it, she had 8 assists. And she had 8 turnovers. So that's a piss poor assist to turnover ratio. Now, what we heard was Amazon Prime Video commentators, they're instructed to not call out Caitlin Clark's flaws. So even when Caitlin had 6 assists, she had 5 turnovers. So if you notice, the commentators didn't say that. They just said, wow, Caitlin has 6 assists. When you went into halftime, no one at halftime highlighted Caitlin Clark's 5 turnovers. They were instructed not to do that, not to highlight the negative parts of her game. Okay. And so that's what happened. But you talking about 8 turnovers, 4 fouls, 8 assists, 20% from deep. Disgusting. Just 35% from the field. She took 20 shots. And they talking about Kelsey Mitchell, dribble. Caitlin Clark, dribble. Clank, brick. Immature. Selfish. Turnover. Poor body language. Thinking about herself. That's what we saw tonight. We saw terrible defense outside of one good play when she got that steal and went in transition. She was getting chopped up on defense. There was nothing she can do because she don't have because she doesn't have a layup package. She's running away from Asia Wilson. So she's getting to the rim and she sees Asia. And so, like I told you, she's running away from the rim. Why? Because she doesn't have a layup package. If she had a layup package, she could have went to the rim, saw Asia, and then went with a clutch reverse to the other side. Or she could have kept it somewhat basic, jumped in the air and did a double clutch and then hit it off the glass, right? Or she could have pulled a jelly, right? Like, she is basic. She's super basic in the air. All she had to do was go up for that layup with the left hand, Asia come up, and then she come back under and then finish on the opposite side of the rim with the right hand. But she don't have a layup package, y'all. Caitlin Clark could jump high. She can touch the rim. Okay, that's 10 feet. So if you could touch the rim, that means you're getting enough air to do adjustment layups. Her problem is that she has this fear of flying and she's not a creative person except for shooting logos and doing snatchbacks and step backs and side steps. That's the only time she's truly creative outside of passing. Okay. So with her slashing, she's not creative, although she's got a little bit better this year, but she's not creative. And layup package is non-existent. Okay. And so that's why she'll see Asia and she's running away from Asia. Okay. She's running away from Asia. Why? Because she has a basic layup package, y'all. And that's the problem. Now, I've seen in some comments on Twitter, people are blaming Stephanie White. You can't blame Stephanie White. Caitlin shot the basketball 20 times. She shot it more than anyone on her team. Okay. She shot it 20 times. Caitlin attempted more threes than anyone on her team. She attempted 10 threes. Caitlin got 8 turnovers. And she had 4 fouls on top of getting chopped up on defense. That is not Stephanie White's fault. Okay, but they're going to find a scapegoat to protect the God that they serve and worship, which is Caitlin Clark. They're going to find some form of low-hanging fruit. They're also jealous that the Indiana Fever fans were chanting MVP, MVP for Kelsey Mitchell. They're also going to find a way to say that Jackie Young falsely accused two white men of saying something derogatory or racially insensitive or flat out racist. They're going to say that. They're going to jump on YouTube and Twitter and all of this and that stuff. Black and white people, the raccoon sellouts and the white people, the little nasty, disgusting, racist KKK white people. They're going to say the same thing. That's literally what's going to happen, you guys. Okay. Sophie Cunningham is wasting over $600,000. And I told you what Sophie is doing. She's trying to save herself for Project B. And we've noticed the last 2-3 games with Nneka Ogwumike. She's saving herself for Project B. Sophie Cunningham is going to make $2 million. That's the base salary in Project B. Nneka Ogwumike most likely will probably be making anywhere from $3 to $5 million. So we're starting to see Project B players save themselves, except for who? Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell is going to make anywhere from $2 to probably $4 to $5 million playing in Project B. But you wouldn't know it because she's not trying to save her body. She understands she's at war and she's going all out. She's emptying the tank. She's not leaving a bullet in a magazine. Kelsey Mitchell is playing all out, knowing that Project B starts up in November. That's when the season begins, in November. Okay. And so that's what it is. So what you're witnessing, what you saw tonight was a team. They don't have any ISO players. Okay. They don't have anyone who can get their own shot. Kennedy Carter is out there. They don't want to bring in Kennedy Carter for obvious reasons. Okay, Alexis Peterson is out there. They don't want to bring in Alexis Peterson. Sierra Dillard is out there. They don't want to bring in Sierra Dillard. Jacayla Jordan is out there. They don't want to bring in Jacayla Jordan. Destiny McFall is out there. They don't want to bring in Destiny McFall. Izzy Higginbottom is out there. They don't want to bring in Izzy Higginbottom. Julie Van Lowe is out there. They don't want to bring in Julie Van Lowe, right? And the list goes on. Listen, you could have signed Deja Kelly. Deja Kelly is out there. They don't want to bring in Deja Kelly. Okay, they don't have anyone who can get their own shot except Kelsey Mitchell. Okay, now what Caitlin can do, Caitlin can hit you with a step back. She can shoot a logo off the dribble, but clearly she was inefficient. She just didn't have it tonight. And so going forward, she's basic and she's hunting a foul. But the fouls aren't always going to be there when you're playing a championship elite team. Now, had she been playing Seattle again, if she were playing the Sparks, if she were playing the Portland Fire, Toronto Temple, Connecticut Sun, even the Chicago Sky, they would have given Caitlin Clark some of those calls moving forward, even if it was bogus. And you looked at the review and it's clear no one touched her, they were going to give it to her. But when you're playing the Minnesota Lynx and you're playing the Las Vegas Aces, you're not going to get those calls because they got to call it even fair. It's wrong. How come they won't do every game that way? You're right. It's wrong. But that's just the way things go. It's that way in the NBA, the NFL. It's the same way in the WNBA. Okay. They're going to call it even when it's two top tier teams. They're going to call it even, y'all. Okay. And that's what you saw tonight. So Kelsey Mitchell doesn't need a whistle. That's the problem. That's the point. Kelsey Mitchell could burn you at all three levels. She can get any shot she wants. And there is no one else on that team who can do that. She's the only one. The only other one who can get her own shot is Ty Harris. But Ty Harris is so limited right now because of the knee injuries. Okay. And then you got Raven. Raven can get to her spots. It's just that Raven is inefficient. I love you, Raven, but she's inefficient. She got to work on her efficiency in the off season, but that's as far as it goes. Everyone else is terrible. I mean, Bree Hall is a lot better than Sophie, slightly better than Lexi with ISO, just barely. And then like that's it. Like you don't have anything. You don't have anything. So when you're playing a team, now listen, this was real bad because the Aces, they have the poorest perimeter defenders in the WNBA. Okay, the poorest. Their best one, they let go, Kennedy Carter. After that, you would have to go to Jackie Young and then barely Jewel Lloyd. Dana Evans was always trash on defense. I've been trying to tell y'all that since Chicago. She was always trash, okay? So, like, that's what it is. So you lost to a team who's one of the worst teams with perimeter defense. One of the worst. And the only one who stood out was Kelsey Mitchell, okay? When it's a sticky situation, you got to have sticky situation handles. And they didn't have that except for Kelsey Mitchell. And she separated herself from Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Okay, yeah, Aaliyah Boston got some nice catch and shoot 3-point shots. Okay, and Aaliyah Boston bullied her way to the rim. But when things got tight and the aces figured like, damn, man, they kind of trash with the ISO ability. Like, seriously, they're trash, man. Let's lock them up. Let's lock them up. And the only one who could make something from nothing, the only one who could get you out of dicey, sticky situations was the woman with the sticky situation handles. And that was Kelsey Mitchell. That was it. Everyone else, lock them down. Basic as hell. And that's what we saw tonight. That's what we saw tonight. That's the reality of it. There's nothing Stephanie could do. And once again, if anything, this made Stephanie stand out because it's clear Stephanie's system is the reason why the Indiana Fever are winning these games outside of Kelsey Mitchell. That's clear, y'all. But there was nothing Stephanie White's system could do tonight because tonight was about who has the best ISO ability when things are clamped down and airtight, when things are ironclad. Who can get us out of this situation? And the Fever couldn't get out of that situation except for Kelsey Mitchell. There was nothing. She couldn't scheme them a win. They were switching everything. They was blitzing, trapping. They were just flat out locking them up 1x1. They were shading. They were covering. It was nothing Stephanie could do. It was nothing she could do, y'all. There was nothing she could do. She couldn't scheme them out of it. At this point, when your coach can't scheme you out of it, this is when you got to be on some 1x1 stuff. You got to be able to rock them to sleep. You got to make them slip and slide. You got to put them on ice skates. You got to chop them up. You got to deep fry them. And if you don't have that type of skill set, you're screwed. And that's what happened. The only one who could do that was Kelsey. You can't say, give Aaliyah the basketball, let Aaliyah rock them to sleep. No, Aaliyah can't do it. Monique can't do it. Michaela can't do it. Sophie damn sure can't do it. Lexi Hall can't really do it. Ty Harris, because of her knees, she can't do it the way she used to. And like, that's the situation. That's what happened. I'm not even trying to be negative right now. And listen, that was the kiss of death. That was the kiss of death. And like, Caitlin got exposed, man. Caitlin basic, y'all. She basic. And once again, she's terrible 2 games in a row against good teams. Okay? Minnesota, she was bad against Minnesota. I don't care that she had a double-double. She was trash that game against Minnesota. That's the God's honest truth. And she got outplayed by Olivia, and then she got outplayed by her own teammate, Kelsey Mitchell. Okay? And she got outplayed by Courtney Williams. And she got outplayed by Nafisa Collier. Like, it was just wild. Caitlin got outplayed. And in this game, she got destroyed. I don't care. You can listen. You can look at 20 points all you want. What I can tell you is that she was 20% from the field and she was 35%, she was 20% from the 3-point line and 35% from the field. You understand? That chick she took 20 shots and missed 13. She took 20 shots and only made 7. She attempted 10 threes and only made 2, and that was late. That was late when she was like, I just can't lead this game without making a 3. That's that immature juvenile basketball I was telling y'all about. Caitlin Clark is one of the most immature hoopers I've ever seen in my life. One of the most immature. She's always thinking about herself. But when you look at the stat sheet, you would think she doesn't think about herself because you would see 8 assists, 7 assists, 10 assists. But if you just watch the game, Caitlin is always thinking about herself, y'all. And when she struggles She tries to shoot logos to somehow get you back on her side, to somehow pick up her own player approval rating, right? That's literally what you saw. She was like, I gotta hit a three. By any means necessary, I gotta hit a three. Okay, and like that's what you saw, y'all. It was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. A lot of those threes were completely unnecessary. That was selfish basketball. So when you hear these people talk about all Kelsey do is dribble, 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 dribble. Well, that's all we've been seeing from Caitlin ever since she came back from her little fake back injury. Dribble, 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 dribble. Shoot, 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 shoot. That's all she been doing. And then she'll sprinkle in some assists as a guise, okay? That's subterfuge. That's a sleight of hand. That's making you believe that she's a great teammate, that she's really trying to get her teammates involved. No, that's her trying to get MVP. That's her trying to look good on the stat sheet, and that's a cover up. Watch these games, y'all. This chick's selfish as hell. She's so immature, y'all. Now let's look at the woman who attacked the trans community and said, I said what I said, took pictures with grifters and clout chasers, all sorts of BS, clowned the owner of the Seattle Storm, didn't care about the trans community, trying to make sure she could be on Fox News when all is said and done. Okay, Riley Gaines said Sophie will be featured on a future podcast show. All of this stuff. And now that Adidas said, chick, we need to sell shoes, not just to Republicans and MAGA. We need to sell shoes to black people. We need to sell shoes to Hispanic people. We need to sell shoes to the LGBTQ plus community. Shut your goddamn mouth, chick. You understand? Shut up, you idiot. The shoe, listen, MAGA can't buy all your damn shoes. Shut up. You screwing us over. And then she had to come out and be like, you know what? Let's just get back to playing basketball. It's the media. It's the media. Once again, being a Karen, playing victim, throwing stones, hiding her hands, just like Caitlin Clark. Adidas and her agent got all over that goofy chick. All over her. What the hell you think you doing, dummy? And then a lot of the fans said, we're not watching USA Network whenever she's on USA Network for the studio show. We don't want to see that chick, so USA Network potentially could lose ratings because it's not like she's in a studio when the Fever are playing. So they really could lose ratings. You idiot. You save all of that stuff for the off season. We don't need to hear. I said that in February, and you doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on it after February. And you celebrated it. And you posted it on your IG where you flipping your ponytail saying, caption, I said what I said. And because Adidas slapped you in your damn mouth, you talking about, oh, let's get back to basketball. It's the media. It's the media. Like dirty, man. And that's why she was trashed for 2 straight games. This chick played 28 minutes, only got 2 points. Missed all of her shots. Those 2 points came from the free throw line. Didn't do a damn thing, y'all. Outside of getting 3 rebounds. 28 minutes. That's over $600,000, y'all. That's over $600,000. That's 2 trash games in a row. Let's look at Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall is making over $1.4 million combined. She's making over $700,000 a year. Over $700K a year, Lexi. That's $1.4 million, y'all. Lexi, once again, now listen, stats can be deceiving. I thought Lexi did all of the other little things really well. But 1 point, that's not good enough, Lexi. Only 1 steal, that's not good enough. You only took 1 shot. That's an abomination. And you had 3 turnovers. That's an abomination, Lexi. 1 point? 1 point? So all 3 of the milks was spoil you milk, was sour milk tonight. All 3 milks were sour spoiled milk tonight. Lexi, Sophie, and Caitlin Clark. I don't care about 20 points. That's called inflation. Numbers do lie, right? Because when I break down the numbers to you and you start seeing, damn, this chick Put up 20 shots and only made 7. Ew, 35%. Damn, this chick shot 10 times from the three-point line and only made 2 for 20%. Damn, this chick got 8 turnovers. Damn, she had 4 fouls and she was getting chopped up on defense. Damn. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Okay. And the only other one that was thorough was Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. But Aaliyah Boston couldn't stay out of foul trouble. Idiot. And she got 4 turnovers and only got 1 offensive rebound. Chick, you getting paid $6 million and all you got was 1 offensive rebound. Shame on you. Shame on you. Now, I know people going to say she didn't get to the free throw line but 1 time. I mean, at all, right? And that's something you can argue about. Why not argue, like, go to the referees and say, wait a second, Aaliyah didn't take a single free throw attempt. Okay, that's not right. I think Aaliyah probably could make a case that she was fouled a few times, but it is what it is. Like, that's what happened. And and wait a second, Michaela Timpson, 11, a block, a steal. That's crazy. Michaela Timpson outplays Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You gave away Nalissa Smith for Sophie. You gave away Nalissa Smith for Sophie. I know all of these Fever fans it's not Fever fans because these aren't Fever fans. These are Caitlin Clark fans. I know all of these Caitlin Clark fans gotta feel so stupid right now, y'all. They gotta feel so stupid right now. Just like, seriously, think about this, that they was clapping and just applauding Nalissa Smith being traded. They wanted Nalissa Smith traded. Who would you rather have now, Nalissa Smith or Sophie? Nalissa Smith or Maisha Hines-Allen? Nalissa Smith or Monique Billings? You would rather Nalissa Smith, period. And don't give me this, no, Nalissa Smith is getting caught up in drama and controversy. What you think Caitlin Clark is getting caught up in and Sophie Cunningham is getting caught up in? Shut up. Get the hell up out of here. It's been nothing but a cesspool. I'm not trying to hit it. Last time I checked, Nalissa Smith got 14 points, 9 rebounds, a block shot, 63%. You understand? A +1, ±5 offensive rebounds, dominated Aaliyah Boston on that front. They're both 6'4". Really, Aaliyah 6'3", Nalissa 6'4". Dominated, y'all. Asia stepped up in the 4th quarter. Jackie Young stepped up. Chelsea Gray finally stepped up. Chelsea played 40 minutes. Over 40 minutes. That's serious. That's serious, y'all. So all of this crap about Nalissa Smith and are you serious? You gave up on Nalissa Smith for Sophie? For Sophie Cunningham? Sophie Cunningham, a career bench player outside of 1 season with the Mercury? Are you serious? Sophie Cunningham, who has a trash left hand. Sophie Cunningham, who needs drag screen after drag screen because her handles are so trash. Sophie Cunningham, who can't create her own shot off the dribble. That's Sophie. Sophie, who needs flare screens and corner pins and catch and shoots because she can't do anything on her own. What? That's Sophie? Sophie, who can't get you rebounds, really? That's Sophie? Sophie, who you could cook and chop up on defense? That's Sophie? Sophie, who, because of proximity to Caitlin, blew up overnight, got a podcast, got millions of followers on social media, and now because of Caitlin is making $2-3 million with Project B, and because of that, she decided to take her foot off the gas to save her body for Project B? That's Sophie? The Sophie who threw stones and hit her hands because Adidas slapped her in the mouth and told her to shut up? Trans people buy shoes too, you idiot? That's Sophie? Because USA Network told her, shut your damn mouth, you idiot. Trans people watch sports too, you dummy. That's Sophie, who was more focused on all of that BS instead of the war, the season, the war. That's Sophie. You got rid of Nalissa Smith for that? Idiot. Idiot. What did Monique Billings do tonight? I would rather have Monique Billings instead. Stop it. Monique Billings, career freaking bench player. A few times she was decent in Atlanta. Stop it. Cut it out, y'all. Cut it out. Cut it out. She's a sweetheart, but stop it. Where is she at? Where's Monique? 8 points, 4 rebounds. I like the 2 steals. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. Just basic. 20 minutes, 8 points, 4 rebounds. And how much is she making? Isn't she making like over $1 million or something like that? Isn't Monique Billings making like over 800,000 or like $1 million, or if I'm not mistaken? That's for like, you making what, $1 million for 8 points, 4 rebounds in 20 minutes? That's crazy. That's crazy, right? So if you let these people tell it, they'll say, give me Maisha Hines Allen over Nalissa Smith any day. Give me Monique Billings over Nalissa Smith anyway. These are these people who have ego issues and pride issues, and they're ninth graders, where they just can't just say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong. I rushed to Judgement because that was my first time watching the WNBA when Caitlin Clark got in the league. I didn't like how Nalissa Smith was playing at that time. And so I wanted her out of here. And I was happy that she was gone because I don't know her game. I just start watching and I just start hating out the blue. I just start hating on this chick for no reason at all. And we were being mean to her and clowning her in the Twitter spaces and on YouTube and social media. And then God, even though Nalissa Smith is not a holy person, God said, I will give you the last slap before I will ever give these Caitlin Clark fans the last slap. And Nalissa Smith won the championship last year, y'all. And she was the reason why they beat the Indiana Fever, because she murdered Natasha Howard, murdered her. And they all look stupid. And then now this game, I won't ever let them get the last laugh on you. Not this game. Now they whooped you without Caitlin Clark. I mean, they whooped y'all filthy. With Caitlin Clark, they're trash. And there's no way I will ever allow her worshipers, her fans, to ever get the last laugh over you, Nalissa. Not this time. So check this out. I want you to run out of this game with 5 offensive rebounds. Just dominate. Do your part, dominate, and come out with the dub. Come out with the W with the win. And that's what happened. These idiots ran her out of town. And I want y'all to remember, Caitlin Clark agreed to have Nalissa Smith to be traded because Kelly Krauskopf and Amber Cox said Caitlin Clark signed off on all of that. She was in a room with them. She agreed to all of the transactions. And she's just looking like an idiot, y'all. She's looking like an idiot. So I just had to clear that up. Because what you're going to see is a bunch of people on YouTube lie. They're going to find a way to blame Stephanie. They're going to look for some weird interaction and say, look, Caitlin is upset with Stephanie. Look, Stephanie took the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hand. What you talking about? This chick shot 20 times. She put up 20 shots. Did she take the most shots? No, Asia put up 21. Jackie put up 21. This chick took the third most shots out of every player on both teams. That chick put up 20 shots and 10 threes. She had 8 turnovers. What are you talking about? Take the ball out of her hands. The ball should have never been in her hands because she keep turning the ball over. That's 8 turnovers. It's best to take the ball out of her hands, right? Look, and then let's not even get into the missed free throws. That was your opportunity to be clutch. That chick missed both free throws. That's crazy. That's not clutch. That's not clutch. Come on, man. What we talking about here? I got to get ready to play this Madden, y'all. I just wanted to do this real quick. Before I leave, let's go to Twitter so we can hear them. We can look at them blame Stephanie White. Hurry up. All right, good. She tied Asia Wilson. Super excited about that. Do we have any positive comments, or are these KKK Caitlin Clark fans still hating on Kelsey Mitchell? Let's see. That's how immature these people are. Hating on her own teammate because they're jealous. They're scared. That was all on CC. What the F you doing? You had a closer in Kelsey Mitchell. What the F you doing, CC? Good. Such selfish play. Okay. Caitlin Clark had another one of her rally-killing games against a top team in the WNBA. I've said this repeatedly, the Fever would never win consistently, especially against the top teams in the WNBA when Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall combined for 45 minutes and only 3 points. Terrible. Only 19 points in the third quarter. Shameful. Caitlin got boxed plus whatever the hell that is. Why did Caitlin Clark throw her entire body on the ground after Asia deflected her pass? Yeah, flopping. Nice. Failed to make key free throws. So the stat is pretty. Oh, come on, y'all. Like, stop it. CC is not good. Is not good. How you trying to be MVP but have 6 or 7 more? No, she had 8 turnovers. Let's be clear. 2 very important free throws and 1 very important ball possession. Now let's talk about GOAT. Clark, is you have the and 2 straight losses. How did both CC and Mitchell miss those last free? No. Caitlin, Kelsey went to the line. She had 2 opportunities at the line, and she made one, missed one, and then she made up for it later on and made both of her free throws. Caitlin had 2 opportunities. She missed one, and then had another opportunity and missed both of them. Okay, so like, don't do that. Don't do that. Tell Lexi there's a loose ball behind her. Like Lexi got eyes in the back of her head. Okay. Y'all got to let the loss breathe before you... Shut up. Kelsey Mitchell played at a high level today. In my opinion, you couldn't ask for anything more from her today. How many times can you snatch defeat from the jaws of victory? Mitchell should leave this crappy ASS sleep. Oh, what the hell is that? That's not legible. Is this all the Fever coaches care about? What about winning? Good grief. Oh, gosh. Now, listen, if that graphic was of Caitlin Clark, he wouldn't have said that. He wouldn't have made that comment. No. Caitlin choked the game away, not Kelsey. Caitlin choked the game away. All right. Indiana Fever Muse, I'm not happy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Look, at least KM got her 20. Jealous. That's right. Most valuable player. Get her some help. Absolutely. Thanks for nothing, Caitlin Clark. Look, jealous. Who cares about this crap? Jealous. And that's what it is. Okay, let's go. What we need to do, we need to go to this. This is what we need to go to. This right here. And this goes to show you how people don't even care about Caitlin anymore like that. I'm telling you, all of that crap is inflated. If this were 2024, even in a loss, this would have had close to 1 million. Especially for a game like this probably would have had over 1 million, even with a loss. Okay? Right now, you would have had like probably 2,000 comments, even after a loss, if this were 2024. 2025, this would have had the talking about views with a loss of a game like this. Man, please, the views would have probably been over 700,000 right now. Probably more than that. So I told you it's dissipated. It's essentially gone in a lot of ways where they're just not interested in her anymore. Not like that. And a lot of people don't like her anymore, especially a lot of certain white people, because they feel that Caitlin is a wuss. She's a coward, and she plays both sides, and she only cares about herself and her brand. And that's what it is. And so she's not going to try to step on any toes. She's not going to be completely honest. And so she turned a lot of white people off. A lot of what they say, you bent the knee to black women. They didn't like that. You like Taylor Swift IG post about Kamala Harris. They didn't like that. Just a lot of things, man. And then now this whole transgender thing, they didn't like that. And so then like they're watching her play and it's like, damn, she's gimmicky. She's about logos and then she'll give you some nice passes every now and again. But it's like, I'm kind of over it. And then they recognize the flopping. They see all of that. They see it. But they were giving her a pass because they were defending her. But they watching her, this is some gimmicky stuff here. It's gimmicky, right? It's elite gimmicks because she's able to put up big points, but it's gimmicky. That's what it is. So they're kind of like just not really impressed. You understand? Said he've never seen a bigger choke job. Okay. Turnover queen chokes again. All right, we read that already. Oh, God, stop showing her. That chick had 1 point. Please tell me that finger is for 1 point. No, she had 2 points. Make sure that 1 point, that finger stands for Lexi Hall for 1 point. All right, that point should stand for Lexi Hall because Lexi had 1 point. Anyone who tries to blame Coach White for this one is blah, 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 blah. He loves CC, but this one was on her, missing her free throws, turning the ball over at a pivotal moment, not being efficient, being loose with the basketball. This was her worst game in a while. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Oh, gosh. Clark literally blew the game. Okay. Yeah, Clark blew the game, but the insufficient roster is the real problem. Congrats, Caitlin. Absolutely sucked butt tonight. Not sure if I ever seen a player of any sport cost their team a win like you did tonight. Your arrogance was shining tonight. AB, you're the only one who was able to guard Asia. What happened tonight? Caitlin, how the hell did you miss 2 free throws in a row in clutch time? Yeah. Clark's fault, no 2 ways about it. Once again, this just shows how look at that. I knew someone was going to blame Stephanie White. Low-hanging fruit, scapegoat, because they're afraid to actually hold Caitlin Clark accountable. They're afraid to actually criticize Caitlin Clark. Like, it's disgusting, y'all. It's disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Rigged. Y'all are full of bleep, and I'm disgusted. What the hell are you talking about, rigged? That those 8 turnovers are rigged? Her missing 8 threes was rigged? Her missing 13 shots was rigged? Her getting chopped up on defense was rigged? What's rigged? What are you talking about? Caitlin Clark is an effing choke artist. Okay. Turnover Tammy misses the game-sealing free throws. Caitlin gonna get another player of the week for 8 turnovers and 2 missed free throws. Oh my gosh, like that bogus player of the month for June. Bogus, y'all. Absolutely bogus. Those saying this loss is on Caitlin. Oh gosh. Okay, this Emmanuel has Caitlin Dookie on his tongue. Let's listen. That's why I said. She'll read the comments and she'll see stuff like this, and then because she's a Karen, and because she's emotionally unstable and her mentality is that of a 9th grade girl, she'll feel enabled. Listen, it was a little boo-boo. Let me go back and keep doing the same thing because my sycophants, my worshipers, are going to make excuses for me. Okay, they're going to blame everyone else, or they're going to downplay her flaws, minimize it, and make it seem like it wasn't a big deal. They're going to deflect. And so she'll just keep on with it because mentally she's a 9th grader. She's in the 9th grade. She's a 14. I'm not even going to disrespect 14-year-old. Caitlin Clark is 11 years old. Maybe even 9 years old mentally on a basketball court. That's how she is. She's not even off the basketball. That chick is 9 years old, y'all. 9 years old. 9 years old. That's Caitlin Clark, y'all. Okay, that's a true story. So yeah, like this is what it is, man. Caitlin Clark is a pathological flopper. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so anyway, this is what it is. This is what it is, man. Caitlin Clark had another one of her rally-killing games against a top team in the WNBA. Oh my gosh, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Yeah, so listen, like, that's it. What do I need to look at? Do I need to look at something else? If there's anything around. Yeah, y'all see the timeline. Y'all see the scriptures. Don't play with me. Y'all want to see more scriptures? Wait a second. Y'all see the scriptures? Y'all see the timeline. Sports. Scriptures, news, football. That's what it is, man. Y'all see the timeline? Where's the porn? Where's the porn? There is no porn. I don't do stuff like that, boy. Look at the timeline, boy. This basketball, football, Bible scriptures, politics, stuff like that. World news. That's what it is. Where's the porn? Where's the thirst traps? Where are the thirst traps? Oh my gosh, where are the thirst traps? That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so anyway, let me do Caitlin Clark. Let's do Caitlin Clark. Let's go here. Look. The Clark report just showing the good things. I told you. Numbers lie. This is called inflation. Okay? This is a sleight of hand. This is subterfuge. That's what this is. Okay? Caitlin Clark had 8 turnovers. She had 4 fouls. She had a negative plus minus. She was 20% from deep and 35% from the field. And she was getting chopped up on defense. Show all of that. Show all of that, right? And she missed 2 clutch free throws. And she turned the ball over at the most inopportune time. She screwed them. And that's the wrong uniform. Yeah, there you go. And 2 of 10 from 3-point range and 8 turnovers. She stinks. She missed both free throws at the end of regulation. Missed free throws, yet no, come on. Tried to play hero ball and got denied. Yeah, that's true. Like, tell the truth. Caitlin Clark solely responsible for the L tonight. Missed free throws, bricks all night, turnovers galore. Yeah, she's trash against the good teams so far this season. So when I went live earlier, I was like, I told y'all about Minnesota. And I said, oh, we'll just see tonight. She's trash against good teams, but we'll see tonight. You understand? So that player of the week stuff, I mean, I guess you had to give it to her because of the triple-double, but she was playing trash opponents, man. You understand? So, like I said, the Fever are undefeated without her. They're undefeated. They are undefeated without her, man. Undefeated, and they're blowing teams out. They held the Aces to 68 points without that chick. You understand? So, that was crazy. Like, that's what happened. They're undefeated without that chick. They're 4-0. They're a top 5 defense without her this year. They're a top 5 offense without her this year. Last year, they played 31 games without Caitlin Clark, and they were 1 win away from the finals. With Caitlin Clark, the Fever went 20-20. The last time Caitlin played an entire season, the Fever went 20-20 and got swept in the first round by who? Stephanie White. Okay? That's what happened. The Fever got swept in the first round by Stephanie White playing Caitlin Clark basketball. These are the same people saying, I wish Christy Sides were back. I hate Stephanie White. I hate Stephanie White. Bring back Christy Sides. Man, Christy Sides let Caitlin be Caitlin. So Caitlin was Caitlin in 2024, right? The team went 20-20 and got swept in the first round. That was because she was a rookie. Well, last time I checked, there are several rookies in WNBA history who brought their teams to the conference finals, or what you would call the semifinals, and some to the finals. Candace Parker is one of them. Her rookie year, she won MVP and Rookie of the Year and took her team to the Western Conference Finals. It happens. Sometimes rookies do extraordinary things. Sometimes rookies do extraordinary things. You understand? So don't give me this rookie BS when Candace and Olivia Miles, it's looking like Olivia Miles is going to get the Minnesota Lynx a championship this year and win MVP and Rookie of the Year. That's if Kelsey and Asia don't take it from her. So, like, I'm not trying to hit his rookie stuff because last time I checked, Candace Parker got the Sparks all the way to the conference finals, her rookie year, and won MVP and Rookie of the Year that same season. I'm not trying to hit any of that rookie stuff. So when they play Caitlin Clark basketball, like they're playing Olivia Miles basketball, Minnesota Lynx gave complete autonomy, free reign. Okay? She gets to do whatever she wants with impunity. Olivia Miles. and they have the best record in the WNBA, and they look like they're going to win a championship, playing it Olivia Miles' way. In 2024, the Indiana Fever played that season Caitlin Clark's way, and they were only 500, 20-20, and they got swept by Stephanie White in the first round. And these are the same people saying, bring back Christy Sides, bring back Christy Sides. She let Caitlin be Caitlin. She let Caitlin be Caitlin. And Caitlin was Caitlin and got swept in the first round and only finished 500. But it was because she was fresh from college. She was fresh from the national championship game, but so too was Candace Parker. In a condensed year. In an Olympic year, 2008. 2008, fresh from winning the national championship, a rookie in a condensed season with no charter flights, getting paid pecans and peanuts, no dedicated training rooms, recovery facilities, none of this stuff. And this chick played 5 positions her rookie year, won MVP and Rookie of the Year, and took her team to the Western Conference Finals. Getting paid pecans and peanuts with no charter flights and bathing in a freaking bucket of ice to recover. I'm not trying to, and sleeping in the freaking airport because they had delays. I'm not trying to hear any of it. No. Listen, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I promise you. That's the reality of it. So I'm not trying to, she was a rookie. Well, let's look at Olivia Miles then. Give us somebody recent. Let's look at Olivia Miles. Let's focus on Olivia Miles. They're playing hoops Olivia Miles' way, and it's looking like they might get a championship doing that. There's levels to this, y'all. You understand? So I'm not going to let white people come up with excuses. I'm not going to let white people baby her. I'm not going to let white people coddle her and dote on her and keep making her a Karen and wipe her mouth every time she slobs and dribbles. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let you listen to these people on YouTube spew nothing but inane drivel. Like, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm not going to let that happen. It's not going to happen. I'm shooting it all down. I'm shooting it all down. All down. I should be playing Madden 27 right now. I should be in my franchise mode right now. But I had to do it. And I said the only way I would make a video is if it was something serious. And, this is kind of serious. I mean, she choked the game away. And I felt like I had to do it because if I didn't do it, these idiots on YouTube would be lying to y'all, spinning it, finding a way to blame Stephanie. They'd try to hide her turnovers. I swear to God, they'll be trying to hide her turnovers. I'm like, nah, we ain't doing all that. We ain't doing all that. No, we ain't doing all that. I'm not letting you get away with that. Anyway, y'all, let me get up out of here.